Friend, have you ever wondered why the people who were once closest to you suddenly become strangers? It's a question that lingers in the quiet moments when the echoes of laughter and shared memories feel like they belong to someone else's life. One day, they're there, solid, present, a part of your world, and the next, they're gone, leaving behind a void that feels inexplicable and heavy. It's a phenomenon that leaves you questioning everything, yourself, them, the nature of relationships, and even the meaning of connection itself. They say it's because you've changed. They say it's because you're too lost in your own world, unable to bring them joy anymore. They say it's because you've made the relationship too heavy, too suffocating. But is that really true? Or is it because they're afraid of seeing themselves? Do you remember her? Sophie. She once smiled at me. She once made me feel accepted, like I belonged somewhere in this vast, chaotic world. Her laughter was a melody I carried in my heart, and her presence was a comfort I didn't realize I relied on until it was gone. We shared moments that felt infinite, late-night conversations, inside jokes, and a bond that seemed unbreakable. But when my world truly collapsed, when the walls I had built around myself crumbled, and I needed someone the most, where was she? She was gone. Not just her, many others too. They draw close when you're smiling, when your light shines brightly enough to illuminate their own shadows. They bask in your warmth, your joy, your ability to make them feel good about themselves. But when the storm hits, when your darkness comes to the surface, they vanish. They retreat into the safety of their own lives, leaving you to navigate the chaos alone. They love your light, not you. And when your darkness emerges, they become afraid, because your existence is a mirror that forces them to see their true selves, their flaws, their insecurities, the parts of themselves they've buried deep beneath layers of denial and self-deception. People always say they crave the truth. They claim to want authenticity, to value real connections over superficial ones. But in reality, they only accept the truth they can tolerate. The moment that truth shatters their illusion of a perfect world, the moment it forces them to confront the uncomfortable realities of their own lives, they run. They flee from the reflection staring back at them, because it's easier to abandon you than to face themselves. Have you ever experienced this? You show them your pain, your weakness, your rawest self, the parts of you that are messy and broken, the parts that don't fit neatly into the narrative they've created for you. And their gaze shifts from concern to discomfort, from empathy to disgust. Suddenly they start looking for a way out. They say, "You've changed." They say, "We're not right for each other." They say, "I can't handle this." But have you really changed? No. You've simply stopped playing along with their fantasy. You've stopped being the person they wanted you to be, the person who made them feel good about themselves without asking for anything in return. You make them realize they never truly cared about you as a person. They only cared about the reflection of themselves they saw in you, the version of you that validated their worth, that made them feel whole. And the moment they can no longer use you to sustain their illusion, they throw you away without hesitation. Funny, isn't it? The world works like this. They say they love you, but what they really love is themselves. They say you've become too much, but the real burden is their own cowardice. They can't handle your darkness, not because you're too dark, but because you remind them of the parts of themselves they try so hard to hide. They cannot accept themselves, so they abandon you. But here's the thing. Their abandonment is not a reflection of your worth. It's not a testament to your failure or your inadequacy. It's a reflection of their inability to confront their own truths, their own shadows. And while it hurts, oh how it hurts, to be left behind, to feel like you're too much or not enough, it's also a gift in disguise. Because when they leave, they make space for the people who will stay. The people who will see your darkness and not flinch, who will sit with you in the silence of your pain and not demand that you pretend to be okay. The people who love you, not just your light, but your shadows too. The people who understand that love isn't about perfection, it's about presence. So, friend, if you've been abandoned, if you've been told you're too much, remember this. You are not the problem. You are not the burden. You are a mirror, yes, but not one that should be shattered or discarded. You are a mirror that reflects the truth, and the truth is not always easy to face. But for those who are brave enough to look, for those who are willing to see themselves clearly, you are a gift. You are a reminder that we are all flawed, all broken, all beautifully human. And in that brokenness, there is beauty. In that darkness, there is light. Let me tell you something else. This world is full of people who will only love you conditionally. They will love you when you're easy to love, when you're convenient, when you fit into their lives without causing any ripples. But the moment you demand more understanding, more patience, more space to be yourself, they will recoil. They will tell you that you're asking for too much, that you're being unreasonable. But the truth is, you're not asking for too much. You're simply asking for what you deserve. And what do you deserve? You deserve to be seen, truly seen, for who you are. Not for who they want you to be. Not for the role they've assigned you in their lives, but for the complex, multifaceted, imperfect person you are. You deserve to be loved, not in spite of your darkness, but because of it. Because your darkness is a part of you, just as much as your light is. So let them go, let them run, and trust that the ones who stay, the ones who see you, all of you, are the ones worth keeping. And what about you? What about the way you see yourself? Do you abandon yourself when the darkness comes? Do you turn away from your own reflection, afraid of what you might see? Or do you stand firm, looking yourself in the eye and say, I see you, I accept you, I love you? Because that's where it starts. It starts with you. It starts with the way you treat yourself, the way you hold yourself in your own gaze. If you can learn to love yourself, not just the parts that are easy to love, but the parts that are messy and complicated and difficult, then you will never truly be alone. So, friend, the next time someone walks away, don't chase them. Don't beg them to stay. Don't twist yourself into someone you're not just to keep them in your life. Instead, turn inward. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am enough. I am worthy. I am loved. And then, keep walking. Keep walking toward the people who will see you, who will stay, who will love you. Not for who they want you to be, but for who you are. Because you are not too much. You are not too dark. You are not too broken. You are human. And that is enough. Let me ask you this. Have you ever considered that their departure might be a blessing in disguise? That their absence might be making room for something greater, something more authentic? Sometimes the universe removes people from your life, not to punish you, but to protect you, to give you the space to grow, to heal, to become the person you're meant to be. And what about the ones who stay? The ones who don't flinch when you show them your scars, who don't run when the storm hits. They are the ones who matter. They are the ones who see you, truly see you, and choose to stay anyway. They are the ones who remind you that love isn't about perfection. It's about presence. So, friend, if you've been abandoned, if you've been told you're too much, remember this. You are not the problem. You are not the burden. You are a mirror, yes, but not one that should be shattered or discarded. You are a mirror that reflects the truth, and the truth is not always easy to face. But for those who are brave enough to look, for those who are willing to see themselves clearly, you are a gift. You are a reminder that we are all flawed, all broken, all beautifully human. And in that brokenness there is beauty. In that darkness there is light. So let them go, let them run, and trust that the ones who stay, the ones who see you, all of you, are the ones worth keeping. Because you are not too much. You are not too dark. You are not too broken. You are human. And that is enough. And as you walk this path, remember that every ending is a new beginning. Every person who leaves creates space for someone who will stay. Every heartbreak teaches you something about yourself, about what you need, about what you deserve. And every time you choose to love yourself, even when others don't, you grow stronger, wiser, and more whole. So take a deep breath, look in the mirror, and say it again. I am enough. I am worthy. I am loved. Because you are, and you always will be.